Thank you, sir. And before I give the farewell notes, I want to give a few AKB notes. So you talked about when you started your career using a typewriter with a carbon sheet, and when I met you first, and that was my first chance to enter into editor's room in a newspaper office. I saw you working on a computer, and that was a big inspiring point for me. That to be in a newspaper which had started using computers, and that was a time when computers had just started to come in, and Pioneer was the first newspaper to have fully computerized itself. So you have been a forebearer of technological advancement in this country, and it was not easy to uh, convince brother journalists and sister journalists to change over from brother typewriters to to the what you call computers. You said AKB is passe. I don't agree with you. You are here today because you are not passe. Because there exist institutions like Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, which will not have a wrapper for their for a function like this, and they would want somebody like you to be here and engage the students, the faculty, the visitors, everybody here, the invitees, the guests, the way you did. Uh, Talking of AI and disclosures, so giving the I have some commitments to write. I write 2 to 3 columns a week, and then I have commitments in the institute too. So the temptation is sometimes there to go to AI. And one of the recent temptations was there was so much demand on me to write something on the daily elections. I I had a thought in my mind, and I framed the question and I put it on ChatGPT. What ChatGPT did was it directed me to 10 Wikipedia pages and said that you can find your answer there. So the point I'm trying to make to you is that human mind will always remain ahead of ChatGPT. If you have understanding of the issue, if you have understanding of the thing, because ChatGPT really had no answer. And I want to supplement this by saying that you talked about headlines. A ChatGPT can never give a headline like "Nobody killed Jessica Lal," which inspired a social revolution, which inspired a media revolution, social revolution, legal revolution, tectonic changes as you have been making. So it's an unknown, anonymous sub-editor that night in Times of India gave that headline, "Nobody killed Jessica Lal," without any assistance of any AI. And thank God there was no AI. He did not have the temptation to use the AI that he could get. But yes, AI will, it can be a good uh, can be like a good Google map, which we use to find the destinations that, probably what I realized at the end of the thing that I would have probably anyway gone to those pages to look for my content. But here I had added one more layer to my searches by going to AI. A question was put to me that he is AKB is an economic journalism Puritan. No, and when he talked about cinema, when he talked about film, when he talked about Ernest Hemingway, when he talked about Jane Austen, we all know that his understanding of cinema is probably better than many of the cinema critics that we get to read today, who are again very focused on what the hashtags would accrue to their writing than any content that they are able to disseminate to the people. Now, coming to the farewell notes, um, I want to relate to I've been a field reporter and I have covered many political rallies. It has been a favorite uh, assignment for me. I always look forward to carrying rallies. And this was a rally in Amritsar in 2007, the month of March. And Atal Bihari Vajpayee was probably his last public rally. He was canvassing for the NDA at that point of time, and And Akali Dal was part of India. Prakash Singh Badal was their leader. And in his speech, in his own inimitable style, he said, बादल गड़गड़ा रहे हैं मौसम बदलने वाला है. He meant about प्रकाश सिंह बादल. बादल गड़गड़ा रहे हैं मौसम बदलने वाला है. और आज भी इस प्रोग्राम के शुरू होने के पहले बादल गड़गड़ा रहे थे. आप सभी के लिए मौसम बदलने वाला है. You are no more under the protected environment. You are going out in a very, very wicked world where will be several issues which you would have never thought about. But then, as I had said earlier, said it to you many a times in the classroom, that you will have to fight out those situations, those challenges which come your way. 2 points which I want to give it to you today is: 1, never undermine yourself, and 2, never overestimate yourself. Probably there is somebody, a third empire sitting there and realizing and who has a better understanding of what your capabilities are. And here I want to share what made me into a prolific writer was. As I said, my first job in Delhi was given by Mr. Bhattacharya, and I still recall the date, 19th November 1994, when I got a call that I have to join the office, from his office, and he said, you come and meet me. And then, in fact, we were a group of 4 or 5 people who had joined. One of them is sitting here, Pankaj. Pankaj, I think, inadvertently went to the field where AKB was, Economic Times, for 16 years, wrote out the paper. So, in the interaction, I said that, the opening was for a job on the desk. And I said that my area of interest is in writing. So he said, who told you that you cannot have an opportunity to write here? Pioneer at that point of time had several theme pages and edit pages, op-ed pages. But, seeing the heavy baglines there, I never thought that I will get in space there. And there was to be a funfair page. It was to have a long single light story kind of a thing which you could write there. And my first story was published there. And I never thought that anybody would ever read that story. I just wrote it for my satisfaction. And when I entered the newspaper office that day, the editor of the newspaper would always be on the prowl. He could be found in any nook and cranny of the paper. And I came face to face with him, and he said, "It is you who wrote that story?" I said, "Yes, I wrote that story." You should write for other pages also. And that was the license which I got to write for other pages, much to the resentment of the reporters of the paper. And finally, I graduated to the other side of the journalism industry, that's the writing side. So the point I'm trying to make to you, that somebody who is watching you, who's seeing you, probably knows better that what you will be able to write. I did not have that confidence at that point of time that I could write for the op-ed pages and the edit pages and the other theme pages. The confidence came in from the people who had observed my writing. So here, when we counsel you, we have tried counseling you, when we counsel you, what is the job that you should go for? I think we have seen that streak in you, we have seen that capacity in you. And some of you have actually come back to me and told me that I think you were right when you stated this. I think some of the people who came back and told me this are not here today because they're still engaged in the newspaper offices. So, on these words, I must also say that you people, this first batch, where people where we actually we did a kind of an experiment, which the management allowed me to go ahead with. And thankfully, by that time, this new education policy things had also come in, that professors of practice, and we could call in industry people in. And it has worked actually very well for us, even in the education market. And I can share this with you that it has left all our, if you can say, our rivals in the market pretty rattled by the way that they have gone about doing this. And in fact, one of the And my time of satisfaction is when I have the externals coming in from the industry and talking to these people and saying, in one particular case, कि मेरे पास तो देने को 100 मार्क्स ही हैं और तुम इस 100 मार्क्स पे समा नहीं रहे. So that is the level of satisfaction, and I must tell you that they have risen to. It has been a very very rigorous journey for them, and they have risen to that challenge, and they have today are very. And I must also share with me the people who have been very instrumental in bringing that change with them. Sanjay has come all the way from Bombay to be here for this course. Sanjay is with the film industry, and that time he had an assignment with us. He was in Delhi for a film shoot. And we had, in development communication, they had given several, and there was one this thing of Nukkar Natak, and we said that we would just do Nukkar Natak, and some of them said that we had never done any Nukkar Natak or any Natak of that kind, and Sanjay was able to pull them out of their shells and and make them perform finally and convey this thing. And so there are several others here, many of them here who are here, and they have come, spend time from their busy schedule. KV sir has been very rigorous. KV. We gave him that day, but while leaving, he made a very good observation about our institute, that you have a very good first aid room, because he immediately gave me a very good first aid, So many others, Bombay is city of cinema, Bombay is city of film festivals. But here in Delhi, the best film festival that we have is Woodpecker, something called Woodpecker Film Festival. And we managed to pull out Rao Narendra from there, and who has been. And when we talked about cinema, how we could not talk about cinema just cannot be about lights, camera, dialogue, action. It has to also be about film history. So we had Manoj. Manoj is a professor of film history at Jawaharlal Nehru University, and he could find out time. And also, luckily for this very batch, very lucky for this batch, that we had somebody, a filmmaker based out of Estonia, who was visiting India at that point of time, and he also came a few classes during that period. So the exposure that we have tried to give to them through this film and through these media professionals has been one part of it. And I have been asked several times with my colleagues who are here today from the permanent faculty that why aren't they getting to teach the theory classes. I firmly believe that they can be better taskmasters by taking the practical classes. And they have made them all of them have made with great, the final files of their work, has been all, treasure worthy. Sunil would also invite you, I would also invite you, do visit us sometime, and you come to my room and you will see a new stand of the products that these people produce during this time. Now there are 2-3 people here, and I was very particular, given the fact that I am from the media industry, from journalism background, and I should not be blamed for being, stepmotherly or stepfatherly or whatever towards the other part of the media, the communication media. So I had a very good mix of people there. Palla, who is a veteran of this thing, and then Anu asked you a very difficult question, and I'm very sure he made life very difficult for them also, And then we had somebody, who was part of, what do you call it, Gen Z, whom we got as a faculty to teach the millennials. So we have her sitting in the corner. She's a faculty here. And actually, this was like to give them first-hand feel of what the industry is, and and how hard pressed that she is all this while to. And of course, I can't forget my colleague for last several years. Is Naveen Sharma there? Acha, I missed also somebody. He also has a shining pit at the end, as Naveen Sharma has. So Naveen, who has been a colleague, who has been at different newspapers, accredited by Commonwealth organization, a very well-known sports photographer. So he has been their tutor in this. And of course, the man, I also wanted them to be the people who have actually struggled to get into the industry and make a mark for themselves. So I got somebody from the newspaper industry and I got somebody from the communication industry to take their classes and tell them that, how rigorous it has been for them to this thing. And this is, and they did a few sessions with them. And I think that has given them, what I mean is Abhishek and Deepak, who's sitting at the end. So, Deepak and Abhishek, I introduced them kind of thing. But we did this does not end this in one session. We had continuous session by first he taught them journalism, Pankaj, and then in the final semester, he would take combined classes to tell them, how to really get into the industry. What are the how do you really it's a very very close society, and we all keep blaming the judiciary, that they don't allow anybody from outside. But I think in media also it is also more true that it is very difficult to get an entry if you don't have a Jan Pehchan. And Pankaj, I think, did very good counseling with them on how to, without Jan Pehchan to get into the media industry and so I think I'm very. We also have this in our course. We have the technology you're talking about. How we have adopted technology. We decided that if there's a technology available, about which Sunit has also been talking, if there's technology available, why not to avail of it? So there has been MOOC, the open courses on the net, and MOOC courses, which have been available for past many years. We decided to do those courses. I'm very thankful to Shruti Tandon, who had been a mentor for the MOOC courses we had. She's with the IT University. And probably yesterday I got a call from the dean of the IP University saying that, why didn't we do the MOOC courses all these years? I said, that is your problem, not my problem. And you see, the beauty of MOOC courses is that last Sunday, not just the students, the batch junior to them were giving MOOC exams. About 5-6 faculty members were also writing those papers, updating themselves. So, and these tests are conducted by NTA. So this is no easy test or this thing, and there has to be, tutorials which have to be done, all that. So that is the ongoing learning process, and we probably, and I'm very sure that we would in times to come, and and I say this with that my whole aim is that people travel long ways to Bombay, to Ahmedabad and other places to take admission in very famous bands and colleges. We have to stop that migration here for the North Indians. We have to stop that migration because only those with money can go there. Those who are not that well endowed financially, there has to be a place of learning for them, and that is the place that we are trying to create at Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies. And I'm very grateful to the vice chairman. Actually never questions me, and the chairman takes me for, chairman says that you take me for granted. So, but I'm actually very grateful to them, because without their help and support and I think it would not have been possible. And last but not the least, I am very suspicious about the anchor of the day, Sumedha Dasmana. she keeps telling me, "Sir, you are such a good boss," but I seldom believe her, because the demands and the deadlines, the deadlines, the media industry deadlines that we are used to, कि आज वो edition तो जाना ही है, ये काम होना ही है. It is there is no tomorrow to wait for. Tomorrow is, So whenever she says that, you are a very good boss, I really have a lot of suspicion on that count. But then she has been a great help, and the biggest compliment for her was, I think this was shared to me by Pankaj. Pankaj has been instrumental in getting us this place and uh, for this event, and so she tied up with Pankaj that to be here on time and this thing. And the time was 5:30, and Pankaj was here on 5:30, and she was here at 5:20. So that is what is the commitment to a cause. That is what is the commitment to the cause, and I hope most of you here take that commitment to the cause from your course mentor, course coordinator. That is something which is going to make you travel long miles, long distances in your career. If you don't want to have an early burnout, please be committed to the cause. And to the mobile generation, I want to say one thing. I was recently covering elections. I did not go very far in the rural areas, outskirts of Ghaziabad, which is close, Bagpat, which is, despite being proximity to Delhi, is culturally very rural. And a parent was very, very frustrated that, about the child's ways. And his whole grouse was कि एक तो ये सस्ती मोबाइल दे दी है और एक ये सस्ता फ्री का नेटवर्क दे दिया. एंड इन वेस्ट दे कॉल द मेल चाइल्ड लौंडा, और मेरा लौंडा तो दिन भर उसी में लगा रहता है. सो प्लीज कम आउट ऑफ दैट स्क्रीन and see the world for yourself. And even as I'm saying this, I can still see some people watching the mobile phones. So you are as bad as a drug addict, and you are not realizing what is being told to you. You are so badly addicted to it. I can assure you, I can tell you, if you are trying to find way to One Raisina Road, that is Press Club of India, without following the Google, the screen, you will finally get to see a lot of Delhi. And here you will not get, and if you are following the screen, you will only get to see the screen and nothing more. And a few lines, the red line and the blue line and the yellow line. So on this note, I think it's time for me to end the notes. And I'm very sure they are very hardworking people, and the God will always be with them, will be blessing them for everything that they will do. And I think they are all very eagerly waiting for the awards session. So let's move over to that. Thank you so much.